How do you know if the coaching here that I offer is going to work for you or not? I suggest you watch some of the videos on the front page. I cover various topics. As I talked about those topics, did they make clear sense to you? Did that seem like, yeah, this seems pretty... It gives clarity to what Adger or Eckhart talks about, and it brings in those other things that these teachers don't talk about. So I cover a range of things that make up this habit called awakening, this habit called enlightenment, and the process, the specific process you go through to get there. And then also once you are enlightened, and it's permanent, there is a process you go through afterwards. You still deepen and then more happens. Like, it doesn't stop. Enlightenment is not the end of the road. It really does keep going. Are you aware of all of the different myths and blocks and rubbish you're carrying from other teachers when their stuff isn't correct? When you precisely know to you, applicable to you, what it is that's going to take for you to get out of your mind, stop being influenced by your emotions and the people around you, and then how to anchor this fully so it's solid, so it's real. What sort of difference is that going to make? This is what the coaching will do, because I have the capacity to tune into you, and if I can't, then I would suggest we probably not do coaching. I'll be able to tell you where you're at, and as you speak and as we cover the different things that are in the way to you being present, you will be able to activate and awaken smoothly. My theoretical framework, it's just not theoretical, practical framework covers a lot of stuff. But as you will know from watching these videos, is that it's applicable to you as a human. We have an unconscious mind. We have developed this person that we are, and it still exists after you awaken permanently. Become enlightened, right? You hold the nothingness, the stillness. Jason guy's still here. So that's why I have all these other videos. It has to do with you learning to practice consciously, using your attention consciously to be that. There is a doer. You do the doing. People that say it's not a doing, either they're deeply enlightened and they're doing it anyway, just they're not using the words, or they are people that are stuck in their heads, and that is usually 99.999% of the time. It's so out there. There's so many people that do it, it's ridiculous. But when you live here and you're grounded, you can tell the difference. Really, because they can't answer your questions. They come back with vagaries. When you know something really, really well, you can be very, very specific, right? When you are a master of your trade, you know how to do it. You know the shortcuts. This is what this is about. This is what I train you. This is what you learn to become through practicing. So you master the awakening process. You master your mind, your emotions, your physicality, your neurology. You train your unconscious to come back to that default setting where it's turned on all the time. I call that the learning state at Student Success Tutor, like left, right brain and all the different areas of the brain working, the neurology working. So all of you is here. That's how it works. Then you are connected with spirit. Then you are grounded in your body. You are connected to this planet. If you have these spiritual things, spiritual interests and spiritual abilities, they will multiply. I can do some pretty amazing esoteric stuff. Phoenix healing. If you're actually in regular coaching, we can do that stuff as well. There's a whippet bird. Right? These things will open up with the coaching. You will get measurable evidence. You will get measurable progress. and I will be there with you, assisting you, so you don't get sidetracked. It makes it a very smooth process. So if you're wondering or not, how many of the videos have you watched? Look at the ones down the front page. I'll have a list of the ones that you really need to check out so you have a bit of an understanding. Because what I talk about is very similar to Adyashanti, Eckhart Tolle type teachings. I'm not into the vagary stuff like Muji and Ramana and those guys. Their stuff's fine, their energy's awesome. But if you want to truly awaken, you can, because there are specifics and measurabilities that you can master and do, and I can help you specifically to do that. Okay? I can train you. So it's real. Do you want this? Then think about it. Ring me up or have a chat. We can do an introductory session at that reduced price. And you'll get to see. You'll get to experience it. It's not just thinking, it's not just words, it's not just a, this is real. So if you're wondering about it, again, if what I'm saying groks, if it makes sense, because my language might not suit some people. You know, the other question I have, you know, if you're wondering or not, do you know if you're lying to yourself or not? Do you have that gauge of, is my bliss real? Because most people swear black and blue that they have this bliss thing happening, but it's disassociated mental body stuff. Can you tell the difference between that and grounded bodily bliss, where your your torso and your body is like resonating with solid bliss that's like liquid gold, as heavy and as solid as liquid gold? These sorts of mental body samadhis are not like that. There are telltale signs, and I talk about that in some of the other videos. But if you've only had that, you don't know until you have someone who knows the whole deal to point it out. I had someone point it out to me. Did that stuff for up to 12 years before I came in, and then I actually properly awoke within 2 years. Did 3 years of practice while doing the floaties, then 2 years of trying to get in here, boom! Now permanent for over 11.5 years, and it is significantly deepened way past the normal enlightenment phase into the transpersonal. And because it's transpersonal, I can transpersonal with you. There are levels, there are things that happen, there are things you need to go through, and then you need to deal with what happens as you deepen. As you go through this process, parts of you do die. As you unfold to be all of this, like a rose. This is a normal person, right? All closed up and like a rose that's just a bud, right? Shut down, they're not connected to the universe. As you open up, all these defensive systems, mechanisms fall away, so you can access all of this. But your personality aspects die too. Your personal well can die and vanish. All of a sudden you can have no motivation. Your love for things will vanish. There's a whole slew of things that vanish. A lot of these actually happen after you become into the abiding phase, the enlightened phase. But tell you what, they're not easy, even though you do have peace, stillness, and with you. You still have to learn to function again. So that's why you go through this training process and master it, so you can awaken smoothly, and then have someone that can help you when you have these issues of stuff falling away. Expert help, expert guidance at really cheap pricing. ridiculously cheap. So make contact and we'll have a chat. You've got nothing to lose. You have got your awakening stably to gain. So I'm Jason for AwakenedEssence.com. Send me an email, pick up the phone and ring me. We'll have a chat.